Hello and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's new episode of X Vlog Live. I'm one half of today's program, joined by the one and only, aka Pony Killer himself, C Money, which, by the way, folks, if you didn't know, a video is coming up soon with him declaring his love for olives and mustard. I can't wait to see it. How you doing, C? God damn
You're
it.
supposed to be a beacon of honesty, and you have become a liar. How dare you? Boo, how dare you?
Oh, man. How you
What's
feeling,
up,
bro?
my
How's the
man?
family?
Family's good, man. Family's real good.
Excellent.
Crazy busy morning that I kind of forgot I was gonna have last night. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, it was a crazy busy morning that I 100% knew was gonna happen.
But you just forgot
But
about
as
it,
the
yeah.
night windowed down, I forgot it was gonna happen, so it kind of caught me off guard. But we're good. It's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. So yeah, man.
Well,
I'm
listen,
excited to be here, bro.
we got two major topics to get into, ladies and gentlemen. So
Get it.
get ready. Absolutely get ready for two ginormous topics, one of which comes the way of the future game show that is happening. I hear an echo. Is that on your end or mine?
Hold on. It's it's possible. Let me do this. I'm gonna hit you with a little bit of put my ear thing on because that might be it.
That might have been it. Yeah. Well, listen, needless to say,
Hello.
you sound good. Perfect. Two major topics. One, future game show happening later today, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Why should we be excited about the future game show coming the way of GDC 2025? Well, earlier this week, we heard and saw with our own eyes that the two voice actors for Gears of War, the one is Dominic Santiago and of course Coltrane. They happen to be tweeting at the same time with the same picture, Gears of War E-Day. So we had talked about it early in the week. I did a video about it. It's up on the channel if you want to check it out. And there were a lot of hypotheticals there, C Money. But then something strange happened today. And that comes the way, ladies and gentlemen, of People Can Fly, who literally just posted, tune in today at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, or 8 p.m. Ground Mountain Time to the future game show. We have prepared something special for you. Now, here's the thing, C. This is still speculation town, right? And of course, I'm co-mayor with Pong Soul and Mav from Speculation. We've all agreed for the co-mayorship, right? We've been doing this for years. But here's the thing, C Money. People Can Fly. Yes, we understand it was just announced that they are working in tandem with PlayStation on an exclusive for a current owned IP by Sony. And a lot of us are all hoping and praying to the gaming gods that it's SOCOM. Is it SOCOM? I don't know, but we're going to find out. But they are still and have been working on a project with Xbox. Now, we do know for an absolute 100% fact that they were helping with Gears of War E-Day and working side by side with the coalition. This has been confirmed, folks. So what else? I mean, are they going to show the PlayStation thing? I don't think so. Literally, it was just announced. So the chances that we could see something are pretty damn good because we already know, see, that this show is going to levy some new South of Midnight stuff. We know that
Xbox is there.
Yes, Xbox is there in a big way. Now, the handheld that is rumored to be shown off at some point, again, it's been a theory of mine for the last couple of weeks. It is a rumor that's floating around, has not transpired as of yet, and the show goes to Friday, which is tomorrow. Maybe that happens today. Maybe that happens tomorrow. Hell, maybe it doesn't happen at all, and Boom is 100% wrong. And I would be saddened by that, not for being wrong, because I want to see what this Asus or Asus handheld / Xbox thing looks like. I want to see it with my own eyes. I want a price. I want to pre-order it. I want to get ready to rock and roll. But see, let's bring this right back to People Can Fly. Now, again, I know there were a lot of people in the community that were upset by them working with PlayStation. But like I said earlier this week, folks, you got to understand, these are humans that need to keep the lights on, and they have to work with who they're working with.
And they're co-developed, like they're doing it with Xbox, not like Coalition is working on the game. So it's
Correct.
like I could only imagine that not everybody on their in their studio
is working on it,
helping. You know what I'm saying?
So they got to they have to have work for everyone. Now,
I mean, it is kind of whorish. It does feel kind of horror. I'm not gonna lie. It feels whorish to do. I don't have a problem with it. But it feels horse. Like we never said we were exclusive, but you still shouldn't be taking that other D. You know what I'm saying right now? Like, I'm just saying it's just wrong who you getting it from.
Oh my God.
You know, I know that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of feeling that gives off. And it's like, come on, man.
So
any other D in the world?
Right. Now, you're not wrong for that. All right, where I'm gonna have pushback for Xbox at this point, and folks, I like to give Xbox the smoke when it's deserved because we're here to talk about it. They should have put a ring on it, and what I mean by that is they should have locked up People Can Fly. Now, look, there are a lot of variables that we as podcasters and community members and game players don't know. There's a minutia of business. I don't pretend to know what that minutia is. Maybe People Can Fly don't want to get acquired. You know what? We don't know. I
don't think they've done anything. I mean, to be fair, I don't think they've done anything kind of worthy.
Outriders was really dope. I really enjoyed that, man. I'm not going to front.
Like, I mean, it's not that it was not good, but it also wasn't like, honestly, there was no like hype around it. If it wasn't for Game Pass, thank you, buddy. If it wasn't for Game Pass, that shit wasn't gonna really do anything. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. I got part of it. I had a great time with it, but also it's like the story wasn't great. Like it was a fun game, but it's not Xbox caliber. You know what I'm saying? Like if they released that game on their first party, that would not be enough. Now, obviously, if they were first party, maybe they have more time and resources to make it what it should be. But I just don't know. I mean, they made Gears of War Judgment. Xbox gave them a shot. You know what I'm saying? They did give them a shot. And like, let's be real. Like, Judgment is not like no one.
A lot of people dislike it for its multiplayer, not so much a single player. And again, I understand that I'm in the minority here, especially for the Gears fandom. Like Gears fandom, depending on who you speak to, is multiplayer first for a lot of reasons, and I totally get that. That is so low on the totem pole for me that when it was announced that the trilogy, the collection would not have it, I shrugged it off like it was nothing because it doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not playing it. But I do understand that for people who love Gears, it's like basically taking away Halo Infinite multiplayer from me and saying, hey, boom, just suck it. This is what you got. And I'd be pissed too because I like the multiplayer. So I totally get it, folks. But see, I do kind of want to circle the wagons here and just talk about People Can Fly. Now, granted, yes, they may not be the greatest studio of all time. That's fair. It's a fair criticism. A lot of people enjoyed Judgment. A lot of people hated Judgment. Okay, fine, right? Outriders comes out. It's not an exclusive, but it's exclusively in Xbox Game Pass. It does some big numbers. They did a lot of things right with it. There were a couple of expansions. I very much enjoyed that game. We know recently they had some layoffs, right? How many? I don't recall how many. I think it was 43 people. I don't know if they were temps.
It must be big, man.
Look, for them to come out now, right, this morning and tweet this, it can't be just, oh, by the way, we've now making a game on Nintendo or something. It can't be that. Now, granted, am I probably wrong? Am I hyping this up too much? You know what, folks? I know some people are the polar opposite. they'd rather underplay it than get surprised.
No, I like hype.
I hype it and then get
I like
disappointed, and I could live that life. I could walk that razor's edge. So this is where we have some fun. See, what if it's Gears of War related?
So I'm not gonna lie. You had brought it up at one of your shows, and I was like, I don't know. And then I saw the streets. The streets was talking, right? You're getting clipped. People are saying, this dude thinks there's gonna be Gears of War at the show. But I mean, it's pretty damning of a situation that People Can Fly kind of came out and was like, hey, check us out at 1. And the actors from Gears of War all posting, the two actors, two voice actors posting the same thing on the same day or whatever the hell. Like, it just feels like it would make sense, and it wouldn't be out of place for Xbox to be like, F it, let's do something a little special here, because they are at the show, right? They are having South of Midnight at the show. So I think that, it's fundamentally possible to kind of see that there is a chance. I mean, look, the game was supposed to come out this year,
Yes.
So the fact that it got delayed to next year doesn't mean that they don't have anything to show. Unlike a certain Ghost of Yote that's supposed to come out this year, and somehow they got nothing to show. But yeah, I mean, because of everything that they're showing, I could definitely see it be a thing. I don't know why People Can Fly would kind of like steal the surprise. So, maybe it's not as big. Like, maybe they're not going to do that. Maybe they're going to, maybe it's a tease for a future announcement that they're going to do. I don't know. Or maybe it'll be something stupid like a pillow, or like a t-shirt, or like some type of some type of merch that you can buy. Get ready for E-Day, guys.
I have an E-Day shirt already that I bought. I don't need another one. God damn it.
That would be wild. That'd be real wild. But no, so yeah, I mean, it's very, very possible. Now, I have been advocating for Microsoft to go ahead and shore up its partnerships. You know what I'm saying? Like, similar to how before they bought Playground, I was like, yo, how do you not own them? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's stupid. They make Forza Horizon. Why would you ever let them, be out in the market? Somebody could scoop them up and then you're screwed, right?
And then you're shit out of luck. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I've been advocating that for a long time. I've been saying it forever. I want them to buy a Sobo. They got Flight Simulator being made by them. Forget this 10-year crap. Just forever their Flight Simulator. And then you get the IP, right? You get a Plague Tale IP, right? Which, frankly, is amazing. I love that series.
Both
I don't
games
know if
are fantastic. I didn't
beat
2. I put a lot of time into it, but that's a franchise I can see not only coming back in a big way. I mean, the way that, when I understand this, the second one ended, there could be a sequel. So,
there's gonna be. Absolutely. It's not only is it a sequel or I guess a threequel, right? It's the third one. But not only can there, and I believe will there be another one, it's gonna be wide open, right? Because now it's about going to these other places. So there's like a bigger scope that's on board. And I've been saying about Asobo forever that I really see them like CD Projekt Red almost, in the sense that, like, the first Witcher was a small kind of contained thing, but it did enough to do a sequel. The sequel opened it up more, really was a big hit, big jump from what they did previously. And then they took it to that third level. Third one was like that big explosion. Like, look at us, we're the shit, right? And I feel like Asobo has that talent, right? And you look at this first one, it was so amazing, but it was a small contained, much smaller contained experience. Second one, bigger, way better, like, so good. And I just feel like, boom, they're ready to go. Number 3, I feel like there's a big number 3 in the pipeline. So I feel like they I feel like they belong. Like Xbox needs to get them. Also the same thing with like these poor companies out in the wild, like Crystal Dynamics and
Yes.
Idols.
Eidos
Like just
Montreal, IO
they're
Interactive
working
is
with your
another one.
teams. Like
Yeah.
go ahead and do it. And like the thing is though, and the
Uh-oh. Oh, he froze. That's weird. Well, we'll get.
I'm back.
Yeah, now you're back.
I'm
There
back.
you go.
All right. Sorry about that. The one difference between these other ones and People Can Fly is if you buy the other ones, you get at least one awesome IP at the very least, right? So like you get Plague's Tale with Asobo, you get Tomb Raider um with Crystal Dynamics, you'll get Deus Ex, with Idols, right? Like some great IP that I think have a lot of meaning to a lot of core gamers, right? Where I feel, yeah, and Legacy of Kain, like there's so much more, but I was just boiling it down to just, you get at least one, right? Whereas People Can Fly, what do you get? Bulletstorm, you know what I'm saying? Outriders is not theirs. Outriders is Square Enix owns that. So you don't even get that from buying them, right? The only thing they made was Bulletstorm that I know.
And both,
That's their own.
I'm not gonna front. I freaking loved Bulletstorm. So unique, so different,
I
and
mean, it was
again,
wild, right?
yeah,
It was wild. They even had Duke Nukem in the you could
yeah.
play as
Mhm.
him after the fact. But it's also like it relied on the wildness for it to be an entertaining game. But like again, when you think about Xbox first party, they're not really in that space, right? Like it's either obviously AAA, even like the double A is pushing it. Double A for Xbox is AAA at a small scale. That's all that means, right?
Pretty
So
much.
that's essentially what it means. They're not doing any of these like half measures anymore. And then the partnerships and stuff when you have like a tower born or something, it's just on the very opposite end. So it's just very clear what this is. And even then it's at a high level, but it's clear what it is. Where I feel like that I just don't know what People Can Fly has done that you looked at and it wasn't a just personal game that you like, but in fact like a universal. Oh my god, this game is amazing in all ways, shapes, and sizes. Right
Hmm.
now, that doesn't mean that they can't do it because South of Midnight, uh, that game, it looks crazy amazing, and like We Happy Few was okay, and Contrast was good, but it wasn't like where they are now, right?
Right.
Compulsion is
Yeah,
operating at a
they're
new
leaps
level.
and bounds away from Contrast for sure.
Yeah, so there's no the fact that People Can Fly hasn't done something like that doesn't mean that they couldn't, given the opportunity of Microsoft. I'm just saying I don't know if it's possible, but I mean, this might be the thing that seals it. But then again, it's like, can I put a ring on the finger after I know who's been inside you? You know what I'm saying? I know who was there, and it can't be them. Anybody else, but it can't be them. So I don't know. That
I
tarnished
mean,
it for me. You know what I'm
look.
saying?
I will say this: I don't think you make a statement like that to let people know, "Hey, we're here." Because just for some, context, if you look at what is actually going to be a part of the future game show, and I have the presser in front of me. It's 50 plus publisher and studio partners that are a part of this. I mean, there's some big ones in there, Capcom being one of them, Humble Games, 3D Realms is a part of it, Crafton, you have here Nordic, you have Compulsion Games, you have Remedy is going to be there. I mean, there's a lot of smaller studios that I'm not familiar with, but there are a lot of big ones in here, and People Can Fly is one of them. Now, granted, like I said, I don't think you make this announcement unless you have something incredibly special to play or show. I don't think, and look, folks, this is a dark, deep rabbit hole, And I'm not suggesting, because again, I didn't even know people clip me, but then that's not surprising at all. See, everyone's always
Oh
clipping
yeah,
poor
yeah, they
Boom.
got you.
It's fine. And you know what's funny? No one will ever
It's
comment.
always you. It's always you and me, bro.
Yeah,
Like
it's
they
fine.
always like they
Fine.
got the same dudes tagging us. Hey, see money and boom. What are your thoughts on this? And it's some stupid ass article about some nonsense. I don't even know if you even look at them on your Twitter.
I don't
But
look at any of them.
it's a notification. It's the same stupid
Not
ass
even one of them.
loser
Yeah.
who writes the same stupid shit. And it's so ridiculous, bro. It's so ridiculous.
Again, this is why we don't do the names thing. And again, that's why I personally will never use the channel to try and embarrass somebody, because I don't think that's right. Even if I disagree with them, even if I don't like them, I'm never going to stoop down to that level. Now, if people do, okay, that's fine. I'm 54, folks. You're not going to embarrass me. If I stutter when I'm trying to get a point out, fine. If I get something wrong, I'll be a man and come out and talk about it. That's fine. But I'm very excited to see what happens today. Last year's Future Game Show had a lot of really cool games. That's what we're here for, folks. We're here for the games. Xbox is there. The rumblings within Redmond is that there's going to be things here. They open up the week with 33 Immortals, right? You can play it. It's finally available.
Fantastic game.
Freaking awesome. On the
check out our review if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, there you go. And we'll link that into the show for sure. We also have Towerborn. Not only is it coming out, it's got a date for Game Pass on the 29th of the month. That game looks freaking amazing and everything I wanted. So they're slowly, hopefully, getting into some of the bigger announcements. Now, of course, anything Gears of War, even though people have, panned me for saying that it could be there. Why couldn't it be there? Because you say it can't be there. It's too big of an announcement. Well, we already know Gears of War E-Day is happening, right? We saw it last year, right? We've been talking about it for over a year, and we're going to get more Gears of War, possibly 2 monster-sized announcements this June. What, Gears is too big for the stage? That's ridiculous. And you know something? Xbox is in a position that third place allows you the chance to shock a bunch of people. Because if I recall correctly, and again, maybe I'm spitballing here, in 2019, they showed you the freaking console on Jeff's stage and then followed it up with Hellblade. So what? That couldn't have happened, but it did, right? It did happen. So is that what's going to happen today? I don't know, but I also do not believe in coincidences. I find it odd that you have the coalition working with the People Can Fly. That's been confirmed. You have, in the same week of the Future Game Show, you have the voice actors for Dom Santiago as well as Coltrane tweeting about, at the same time, Gears of War E-Day, and then we get this announcement today. That's a lot of clues. If you don't want to believe it, I hear you, folks. I'm not going to argue with you, but I still think there could be something here. We will see in a couple of hours. 4 o'clock is, 3.5 hours away. We'll know if that happens at 4 or sometime during that time. We'll be here for it. And again, if something big breaks, rest assured we'll be covering it tomorrow on Breakfast at Boom. But C-Money.
Real quick, Boom, before we leave it.
Yeah.
Do you think, if they just, let's assume that this does happen. If the game is delayed to 2026,
right,
what would be the purpose of showing it now?
That's a good question, dude.
Meaning, did just words come out and say that they were, delaying it to 2026, and actually they're getting it in this year, so they want to go ahead and talk about it, right? I don't know that. Right. If they do show it, what would that mean? I feel like that it'll be weird if it's gonna get delayed. Why talk about it now?
Unless they're showing off their own Project Maverick, which is what they're currently working on. Now, we've all talked about this before. What is Project Maverick? I have no freaking idea. Is it Gears of War related?
I thought it was confirmed that was Gears of War.
I looked, and I mean, chat, help us out here. I don't think that has been confirmed as to what it was, at least from what I remember. I know that the code name exists. Maybe some people know what it is. I certainly I don't know what it is. I have not had the opportunity to talk to my connections who know about these things. This has never come up in conversation. I'm just saying that Project Maverick exists. It's what they're working on, along with Project Delta, which is the new PlayStation one. I don't know. I mean, we're going to find out today, ladies and gentlemen, and there's going to be people that are right and people that are wrong. And I don't care one way or the other. I'm here to hang out, have fun, report on the news, make some opinions. If the opinions are wrong, well, then they're wrong. And we kind of get out here and be like, hey, folks, hi, Mr. BoomStick XL.
Well, that didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Yeah, there you go. But look, we have one super chat here, the first one of the day. This one's directly for you, which is awesome. Sith Lord, good friend of the channel, great friend of the community. He says, I'm only here for the mustard and olive shots.
God damn it. God damn it. Fucking A.
That would really give me heartburn. Just thinking about it has given me heartburn. How dare you, Sith
If
Lord?
you're watching right now and you're saying to yourself, what is this olive and mustard shit? Go on our channel on Point for Gamers and go find
you mean
the
this
torture. God damn it. Look at this shit. Look at this abuse. You see this abuse? This is abuse. Go find the episode where they literally I lost a bet and I had to eat mustard and olives dipped in mustard live on camera. I almost died. Okay. And the friends, look at all the love that I have of people who want to see me in pain. You know what I'm saying? That is not nice. Okay. That's the only way I could say it. Not nice. Okay. God damn it. Olives are the worst.
Well, I mean, listen, friends, that's a very
who needs enemies? Right?
Oh my goodness. Listen, I just real quick, we got another super chat coming in from our friend all the way from Hawaii, which I wonder what the weather is over there. It is really dreary here today in New Rochelle, New York. Hopefully you got a lot of beautiful sunshine. Nino Vustic, our generous friend, has dropped a generous and outstanding $5 super chat. And he goes on to say, aloha, boom. Well, aloha to you and your family as well. Just wanted to say aloha and have a great show. Back to vacation, mahalo. Oh, you're on vacation. Good for you, brother. Mahalo to you as well. That is what I'm talking about. Yeah, I need a good vacation as well. I don't know when that's going to happen, if it's going to happen this year, but we will see. Well, I'm going to be in LA for June, but that's really kind of like a work trip, even though I'll be having fun. A couple more super chats real quick before we move on to the Xbox Play Anywhere article from Windows Central. And folks, it's super exciting. I know that a lot of people may not be excited about the future of Xbox. I think this is another reason why you should be. We have JC Claramore, Carla Moreau, I believe that's it is.
Yep.
Yeah,
Carla Moreau.
Carla Moreau. Well, Carla Moreau, thank you so much for being here, JC. We super appreciate the generosity. And he says, finally catching the show. It's been a year. Well, brother, listen, we'd love to have you here. Thank you for coming back. And obviously, it's always on video on demand, but we're happy to have you here during the live stream. Sir Riffs a Lot drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, see money, eat your olives and mustards, hashtag no PAB.
God damn it.
Oh, man. This is the friend you're talking about. These are the friends you are talking about. But see, look, wild. Xbox Play Anywhere is a tagline, right? And honestly, when you consider, this is an Xbox and what they're doing with that and allowing for you as the gamer to choose where you play your games. Now, more specifically, why this is super important and why we're starting to see why Xbox Play Anywhere is a part of the bigger picture, right? So when the rollout for this is an Xbox, look, wasn't the greatest. And it's not because the marketing team didn't put the work in. They did. It didn't hit like I think they thought it was going to. Though it's an amazing thing. You got to think about this for a second, folks. If you are an Xbox customer, if you are an Xbox player, what Xbox and what Microsoft are doing for you as this customer is telling you, hey, you bought the box and you can always go and play your Xbox. You can always turn on the power button, it's plugged into your TV or your monitor, and you go. And that is what's been the standard for decades. But this new way of playing, meaning that you can play on your TV, your PC, your tablet, your phone, anything that has a screen is incredible. And I can tell you this right now, folks. Look, I know that a lot of people in the chat are not as old as me. And I understand I'm the dinosaur in the room. It's not a problem. You know, I'm privileged to be this old because, you know, my pops passed away at 45. So I've surpassed my pops. Right. So
That's awesome.
So thank you. But the point is, and I don't mean to bring us down, just for context, be happy at your age because nothing is guaranteed. Same thing with gaming, right? Same thing with what companies supposedly owe you, right? Do companies owe you anything? No, you are a number, right? No matter how much you love a brand, you are a number and you are in the big cog that just continues to turn around. And Sony abuses their customers by nickel and diming them. Nintendo, in some cases, abuses their customers' loyalty by making them buy the same game. I'm the blame. I've done it. I bought Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, bought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch, bought all the DLC that I had on the Wii U, and it was updated, and I paid for it, and I gladly did. I'm a Nintendo kid. I have always been since 1985. This is where Xbox is doing something that it's a terminology that you hear where, you know, we've heard it in some simplistic terms, you know, shaking up the industry, right? They've done that with Xbox Game Pass in 2017, right? They took the industry as it was known and they shook it and said, we're doing something different. We're changing the way you buy your games. And we've, you know, obviously we've been living with that ever since. And Game Pass right now, especially in 2025, is by far the greatest deal in gaming. I don't care what anyone tells you. Oh, I want to own my games. You can do that. You can buy every one of these games at a discount on Xbox Game Pass digitally. If you want to go out and buy your stuff physically, you can still do that. Nothing has been taken away from you. This Xbox Play Anywhere thing, this is another opportunity to move the industry forward. See, I gotta just take this call.
That's fine.
Let me know what you think.
Yeah. So I know, like I see in the chat, right? I think there's like this situation where people feel like you have to have it like one way or the other when it comes to this Xbox Play Anywhere versus exclusives. Like the whole exclusive thing is not like, because I just saw it in the chat. Like it's not something that we need to like keep bringing up as a thing, because there's nothing about it that makes you enjoy a game more. You know what I'm saying?
It's a console.
Like you're getting the games in Game Pass.
Yeah, if you will.
Yeah, like Xbox is, you know, you gotta understand the people who are sitting there upset and I'm not talking about the Xbox side, I'm talking about that side, right? The people who are sitting there upset about what Xbox is doing, they're upset that Xbox is not going away, right? They thought that they were going to get this, victory where they would see Xbox, fold, right? They would see Microsoft say Xbox is done, it's irrelevant, so we're not going to have it anymore. That's what the ponies and all those people over there on that side, that's why they're mad. That's why they try to gaslight you into thinking that the world is over because they also get to buy the game. Newsflash. It's very simple. No one could ever stop any of those PlayStation people from buying it on a PC and playing that game, from paying the $20 a month and playing it on the cloud. You couldn't stop them from going to buy a $200 Xbox Series S or buy a used one for even cheaper, right?
Yeah.
You could not stop them from experiencing that game. So the idea that them having to purchase it on a PlayStation versus some other way, the idea that that is an issue, it just doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't make any sense. Like we have to start moving away from the pony narrative, right? That's the narrative that they want you to sit there and feel. And again, I can appreciate that we all, grew up on this idea of what gaming was, but that is not what gaming is.
Yeah, well, the
right?
business has changed, brother. That's
The
just
business is absolutely changing, right? The PC used to be the niche way of playing the games. Not the people who played on PC didn't feel that way, but everybody else who the mainstream was console, right? But PC has risen up, all right?
Yes, they have.
PC is taking over, man. And you have to be able to be everywhere. It just makes sense. The dollars, these games don't cost what they cost back in the day, bro. Like, understand, like, you got to be realistic, man. And I'm sorry, I'm never going to want them to stop advancing and stop pushing the genre forward and making things look better and play better and experiment. And especially on Xbox side, take risk, right? Because we already see what happens with all these other places, bro. Like, studios are shutting down. Big studios, people that you wouldn't think are going to get shut down have been shut down.
I literally said that the other day. That was the point that I'm glad you're bringing this up. The question I asked, and I was being very, very serious about this. And there are going to be some people in the chat see that, like, yeah, I don't give a shit. Yeah, I don't care. That's because you are a baby, a child that doesn't look past their nose. Man. How many studios have to close? How many studios have to be bought up and then closed? How many people have to be out of work that make the games you're privileged to play before you're like, yeah, you know what? I understand why this is happening. Because if you're thumbing your nose, look, folks, I am one of the oldest guys here, right? I know there's people that are older than me, and we're all gray beards, and that's awesome. But the reality is, I literally put out a video today that talks about, did the Xbox community bend the knee for the multi-plat future of Xbox? And the truth of the matter is no. I have people that are clipping me that are saying, oh, look at this bot. He was against it. Now he's for it. What a suck ass.
Times change, bro.
But
times
change.
Yes. Dude, we're not. First of all, if you use that, anybody who uses that argument, anybody who does that, I am almost certain that that's a peek into your life.
Yes.
Because if you don't look at things and say, I can make new decisions based off of new information, if you cannot do that, then that's going to trickle down in all of your life. That's how I still have cousins that I grew up with that are still stuck in the hood and I done moved out, right? Yeah. Like, this is people. Some people are stuck. They don't want to leave what they knew. I'm sorry, man. Times change, bro. I don't give a crap about anything other than the games that I get to play. Okay, this is the reality of what it is. And and what the conditioning that I care about that I don't want Xbox going back on. Okay, this is the conditioning that I care about. I don't want to hear about the other condition. I don't give a shit about that one. The conditioning I care about is Game Pass. You done condition me to have Game Pass. Don't take my Game Pass away, and don't ruin my Game Pass. Keep giving me Game Pass, and I'm golden. And I honestly, it doesn't matter to me. The idea that people have gone out there, and I've seen people clip all type of people, like we just talked about on the show. Was it last night? Was it last night show or Tuesday? What? No, today's Thursday. Tuesday show. I forget I saw Paris in the chat, right?
Yes, so Paris actually said something really good. He says social media is filled with miserable, unserious people. Thank you.
Yeah,
there you go.
Well,
folks. Breaking news.
So we just talked
social
about
media sucks.
that dude who quote tweeted him and trying to say that he was championing exclusives and not don't get gaslit. What? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No, these people are so delusional that they are trying to say that we are gaslighting them. And it's like, are you crazy, bro? You're the ones who are pissed that we're not pissed. You know what I'm saying? You're pissed that us, the people who own the Xboxes and who are in this ecosystem, are not mad. Why? Because for you, this is not about gaming. For you, this is about some bullshit war that you think you're winning. It was fun when it was happening. Xbox left you behind. See, they were playing in the dirt with you, right? They were you, little Nintendo, right? Your little Nintendo, little PlayStation, Xbox. They were all in the dirt, wrestling, being silly, right? It was fun. It was fun. But Xbox said, you know what? Instead of having to shut all of our studios down and only release one game a year, you know, a la another competing platform that they want to big up, yet they forgot that the reason they want that platform is to play games from that platform, but that platform is not releasing games. Instead of doing that, let's go ahead and, I don't know, let's maybe mimic the entire strategy that took Microsoft from a company that maybe was worth around what Sony is today to a company that's over $3 trillion. It's funny. I don't know, maybe the game plan of the company that figured out how to go from a smaller company to a gigantic company might work better than the company that figured out how to start as a smaller company and stay a small company. No, I'm sorry. Microsoft understands what to do. We've all lived that life now. Don't tell me that you're okay with the idea of, man, YouTube only on the Android devices. That's it. That's the only place. If you want YouTube, you got to go on Android. Nope, not on the computer. Google doesn't own the computer. They only own Android platform. So that's the only place you can get it. Like, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. All right. And yes, before, back in the day, that's what it was. Times have changed, bro. Times have changed. Stop crying. You don't need exclusive. If you need exclusive so bad, if that's going to break your heart that you don't have games that are only on Xbox, then go to the other side. Hey, I heard Xbox games are coming over there. So guess what? You're not missing out. All you got to do is spend $70 every time they drop one, or be like the ponies who spend $100 on a 4-year-old game so they can get 4 days early. You know what I'm saying? Just be part of that squad then. Just do you. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stop crying about the same old shit. There's nothing to be sad about. There's a difference about like opinions. Oh, my opinion is this is not a opinion of, oh my God, this is a true possible feeling. This is just you being in your feelings. This is not based off reality. Reality has left you behind. The world already has moved on from this idea of exclusively having content somewhere that is not accessible everywhere. Netflix, you can open up everywhere. Netflix puts their movies on Blu-ray. They've done it. They've gone into theaters.
Yes.
This is not what you think it is. Of course, the world that we live in is different now. Just go with the change, fam. Go with the change. Stop letting these ponies dictate how you feel. And stop this. Oh, I need to show how mad I am so that my pony friends could like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay. It's okay. They don't like you. You know
listen,
what I'm saying?
it is what it is. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome in Paris Lilly joining us for the second time in a couple of weeks. Paris, what's going on, brother? I saw your post, which is great. And again, this whole conversation started with the strides that Xbox is doing, right? You know, this is an Xbox. You had made mention about it a couple of months ago with a few other journalists that said, hey, listen, this is going to make sense soon. And of course, now the initiative, which I think is going to once again take the industry by its Buster Browns and shake it and change it. And that is the Xbox Play Anywhere. Now, not every game comes with this, but it is something to be marveled at, because at one point and this is where we should all want gaming to go. You buy a game one time. It doesn't matter where you buy that game should be playable everywhere. Now, I understand, well, if you buy a game on PlayStation 5 and it's a God of War 17, it should only be played on your PS 17. Sure, fine, whatever. But the way Xbox is doing things and the way they're working with their partners is say, hey, listen, we have this idea that every screen is going to be an Xbox, whether it be a handheld, your phone, your refrigerator. If it has a screen and has Wi-Fi, you can play an Xbox. It behooves Microsoft and its partners to say, because we've heard many people actually say this, people's spending habits will change. If a game is Play Anywhere, you'll get more people to buy that game because they can, in fact, play anywhere. Any thoughts to that, Paris? And of course, if you want to drop your bars on the stupidity of the community, that's fine as well.
I'll get to the stupidity in a second, but no, I mean, it's you clearly Xbox is going all in with this strategy, and you know, and I've been a huge fan of Play Anywhere. I mean, going back to 2016, you know, it's like, wow, the game that I play on my Xbox, I can go play on my PlayStation. Well, hell, I guess you can now, but the game that I play on my Xbox, I can go play on my PC or vice versa. And all my progress follows me, and they're expanding upon that now. Obviously cloud plays a factor into it. We know all these handhelds and things like that are starting to come out. So and I'm doing air quotes, any open device or device that Xbox themselves own, Play Anywhere is going to be the strategy moving forward. So to your point, not every game today can do it, but you can safely assume every first party game moving forward is going to do Play Anywhere. That's a pretty safe assumption. And we're even starting to see it with Steam, you know, with games like Indiana Jones and Avowed, where there's a cloud save option in there so you can move your progress back and forth between the Xbox ecosystem and Steam. So sure, the exclusivity stuff and all that, and you guys already talked about it, that is no longer the reality of what Xbox is doing. We get it. You know, it's just the reality of the world. So this strategy now of, all right, I can play my games wherever I want. Who's complaining about that? And I will say someone way smarter than me said, if you look at it, it's about convenience. This current generation, our children.
Yeah.
They don't care about this brand. They don't care about Xbox and PlayStation and all that. They really don't. They care about convenience. They just
laugh at us.
Yeah, I want to play on the device that is in front of me. That's all they care about. And if Xbox is delivering that experience to multiple screens, again, this is an Xbox. That's just where it's headed. And of course, you're going to have people that are, now we'll get into the stupidity. Of course, you're going to have people that are going to kick and scream and fight against that. They're going to clip you and quote tweet you and do all these weird things. But we're not the people that they're talking to anymore. Sure, we're the hardcore audience that's going to be online that follows everything that they do. But they're selling to millions of other people that don't interact on social media, that aren't following Xbox's every word or PlayStation's every word. And I always use my neighbor as the example. My neighbor buys one device so he can play Call of Duty, Madden, and NBA. That's all he cares about. And to your point, C Money, I'm with you as far as the Game Pass thing. I freaking love Game Pass. I don't care what nobody say, right? So look, don't take that from me. Oh, to keep that, exactly. Right? I don't work at Microsoft. I ain't Amy Hood, so I don't need to worry about the financials. I keep giving it to me. Exactly. That's all I care about. Y'all figure it out to make it sustainable. You know what I mean? So look, people are gonna do all this weird stuff. So again, like you kind of mentioned C Money, and I'm bringing this up to C Money. I saw that someone that I've interacted with privately got extremely butthurt over the weekend, and I guess I'm this big bully mean guy now, right? You and I have talked privately, and it wasn't on the best of terms when we first talked, right?
Facts.
That's okay.
100%.
That's okay.
100%.
And that's what I think people need to understand. You're not always going to agree. You're not always going to get along, but we're adults. And sure, there might have been some loud words and some cussing might start at the beginning, but you get to an understanding by the end. That's all that freaking matters on that stuff. So it's like, I've seen that, and I'm sure people have saw my interaction with a certain content creator over the weekend. That was on purpose. That was on purpose, because at some point you can't let people just say whatever they want to say.
That is correct. There are limitations. 100%.
Do not, and I said this, I was saying this the other day, don't let people minimize your hard work. Don't let them do it.
Facts.
You don't get to tell me what my work is or my motivations behind work, because you can't do it. It takes a long time and a lot of hard work and effort to get to a point where you're able to do some of the things that I've been lucky enough to do in the industry. So no, you're not going to minimize that. You're not going to name call out people and say what's the stupid astroturfing thing and all these other things that you see, because we know it's not true. It's just ridiculous. It's someone screaming into their echo chamber looking for attention is all it really is. But the whole point I'm bringing up on all that is, you're always going to have people that are going to be critical of you. You're always going to have people that try to, minimize your work or try and demean you. Again, the video clipping and all these things. Like, I found it hilarious. Like, you were bringing up the exclusivity stuff and all that. I've never been all for exclusivity. And it was so funny. Like, the stupid quote tweet, me talking about it was from 2021 after they acquired Bethesda. Yeah.
It's like that didn't even happen. Like, I was looking, we're reading your thing, and then we go and read the quote tweet, and it's like, come on, man. Come on. Yeah. It's just this propaganda they're pushing out to try to create this atmosphere of why, like, if we're not trying to light Xbox up for doing this, we're some type of hypocrites, or we're type of people who are full of it. Come on, man.
No, at the end of the day, it's video games, man. So this is what trips me out about this. Like, it's adult time now. Let's have an adult conversation. At the end of the day, it's video games. Who freaking cares? Go play where you want to play. One thing that I tell my children, and something my mother told me a very long time ago: stop worrying about what other people do. That amazes me. Stop worrying about that. I could care less where you want to go play your video games or what your favorite brand is or any of that. I'm worried about what I like. And that's all that matters to me. The rest of it is 100%. Just childish nonsense that you see online. Okay, PlayStation does exclusives. Nintendo does exclusives. We know that. No one's denying that. And it's not a bad thing, because that's what they do. Obviously, Xbox, and I am just as guilty as anyone else, because I've literally stood on the stage and said it. It mattered to them a few years ago. Now it doesn't. So what are you going to do? Am I going to stop playing Halo or Gears or Forza or any of that because they're not exclusive to Xbox? No, I'm going to keep playing them because they're games that I want to play.
Years are still years. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes. I feel like it's easy to look at it like, oh, it wasn't so long ago. Yeah, because time constantly moves, things constantly change.
Yep.
Right. Tomorrow something can happen that completely derails every plan you ever had. Right. And
business.
Just because it comes up, even in real life, right? It's just, this is what it is, right? You don't know what's happening and you have to adjust, and they are adjusting, right? And they're adjusting in a way that it doesn't hurt us, right? It doesn't hurt us.
The only thing that it hurts, and it's why I asked Phil Spencer the question, why am I buying an Xbox then? You now, Xbox, Microsoft as a company, you now need to convince me to go buy your hardware. Whereas in the past, the convincing was, well, I want to play Halo. I want to play Gears. I want to play Forza. I better have an Xbox to go play it. They are now telling you as we move into this next generation of gaming, they got to find a different way to convince me to buy the hardware, or I'm just going to go buy a PlayStation or a Nintendo or a PC and go play it there. So that's on them. That's not on me as a consumer.
Yeah, that's their problem. But to be fair, we've already been down this road where they had all the exclusives. And how did that work out for them? They stood in the same spot, right? Number 3 every time, right? The exclusive game already took place. They were like, they're not new. They've been in that field. And no matter what they do, PlayStation's name brand has already been ingrained. And it's worldwide, right? Xbox, no matter what they do, they can't do it. Right now, with Forza Horizon, they're seeing success that they haven't seen in forever because they're number one in countries that they never would have been number one in.
Wait till Starfield comes this year.
Well, and it's just a start, right? I think the point is like, technically, there is a big fundamental reason to stay exclusively in the Xbox ecosystem. And I include PC in that because if we all know, right, Windows is Microsoft. So when you buy a PC, right, if you say to yourself, I'm going to go buy a PC right now, there is a license fee for that Windows program that's installed on that PC. And when you buy that PC, Microsoft gets a cut. More than likely, it's a much bigger cut than when they sell a console to you. You know what I'm saying? So theoretically, every time you buy a PC because you want to stick it to Microsoft, you're actually going to be giving them more just out of that one situation. Game Pass is the key. Until Game Pass is in the PlayStation ecosystem or in the Nintendo ecosystem, which they want it to be, but the other companies won't let them. Until that happens, then you'll really be like, okay, well, now where I want to buy, right? That's the real, like, if Game Pass was on PlayStation, yes, 100% it becomes oh, well, sure, I'll just buy a PlayStation then because I get this and this and Game Pass. But you have to be making a choice to say, I'm an Xbox user now, but even though I have Game Pass and I enjoy it, I'm going to ditch Xbox, I'm going to ditch PC, I'm going to ditch Game Pass, and I'm just going to buy a PlayStation and spend $70 on the very games that I knew I was going to get in my Game Pass subscription, right? And at this rate, where you're talking about the amount of games that Xbox is releasing, right? This is not PlayStation. This is not 1 or 2 games a year. If you're an Xbox fan who buys Xbox games, that means you're going to go buy a PlayStation and do, like, they're releasing, what, 6 games? 5 or 6 games this year on PlayStation. Like, you're going to spend $300, $400 on PlayStation. I'm sorry, on Xbox games on your PlayStation. Like, the math don't math, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're fiscally responsible, if you are responsible with your money, you're going to have to look at it and say, wow, I'm buying a lot of Xbox games every year. If I just bought the $300 Series S or got it used, I could get Game Pass for less than what it's costing me to buy all these individual games
and still have your PlayStation and buy
and
those
still have the
games
PlayStation to do the other thing, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, they're not going to see it that way, right? And they haven't seen it that way. That's why Game Pass hasn't caused this mass, you know, exodus, right? PlayStation players are staying over there. Why? Because just like you said, Paris, your neighbor, he could give three craps about Game Pass because he buys Call of Duty, NBA, and Madden. Done.
Yeah. I mean, but see, that goes to the whole point of, I just feel like it's this pointless juvenile arguing that you constantly see over this, to where it's like, okay, we get it. You like brand X. Congrats. Enjoy it. No one's telling you not to. People like what they like. So not everyone's going to subscribe to Game Pass. That's not for everyone. And that is okay. You can still go buy the games just as much as you want to. I mean, if you look at the percentages of the Xbox user base versus the amount of people that actually subscribe to Game Pass, I want to say it's 20% or something like that. It kind of is capped out at whatever that number is. It's not like 100%, 80% of people that are on Xbox are on Game Pass. So people are still buying games. People still like buying games. But the fact that you have the subscription service, and I've said this many times over the years, Game Pass only works if you have content.
Yes.
And we know Xbox has a couple of rough years there, especially 2022. They ain't had nothing.
Terrible.
So at that point, I understand people being frustrated. Game Pass, why am I paying for this? We're now starting to see towards the end of last year, and as we obviously pivot here into this year and beyond, they're starting to get that steady flow of content that you're going to want to stay subscribed to it every month because they're giving you stuff that you want to go play. But not everybody's trying to play 5, 6, 7, 8 games a year. Some people, like I said, my neighbor, he plays his 3 games a year and he's good. So maybe for him, it doesn't make financial sense to spend $20 a month. I just go buy the games, $60, $70 a pop, and I'm good. That's all I'm going to play every year. And that's what I mean, man. I mean, people love to argue stuff and all that. For the love of God, please clip this and put it on the internet. Let people enjoy. Let
They
people
won't clip. They don't clip
No.
ones that they know that they can't twist. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They don't clip
No, I know.
They don't
I
clip
know.
it. Especially, you know what's my favorite? When they clip you and edit as well. Like, like they clip it and then they edit out a piece.
You know what the funny, speaking of that, you know what the funniest one was? Because, we talked to Peter Moore a couple weeks ago, right? And, I'd asked him the question. He talked about how, I encourage the console wars and all that. Someone clipped it and edited it to make it look like me and Danny were sad that he said that. It was
that's work right there.
Yeah,
Man.
it was like, wow, y'all got way too much time on your hands for that stuff. But look, I'll say this just to move forward because I don't want to take up too much of your time. For me personally, I'm excited about the future of where Xbox is headed as far as when I look at all the studios they have and the games they are making. I see a lot of games that I want to play, right? I get the controversy over this partnered handheld that might come out this year. The fact that it's not going to play all of your Xbox games. It essentially is still a PC handheld. But I think what people need to realize is 2025, in my opinion, is about what Jason Ronald and his team is doing to make that PC UI on the handheld more accessible. Because I've said it to him directly and I've said it to other people. I want to press the button. I'm in the Xbox experience and I play the game. That's all I care about. Give me that. If you want the extra, I go to the desktop mode and I want to load Steam and do all these things. Great. But for my Xbox games, I want a handheld that I press the button. It loads me into the Xbox experience. I see the game that I want to play and I hit play and I'm good. And that's where I think they're striving to get to in 2025. So I will be interested to see what this partnered handheld looks like from an Xbox user experience, because right now I have the Rogue Ally and all that stuff. It works, but it's not the best. The Xbox app on there isn't the best. It's cumbersome. And this is the whole point. They got to fix that first before they come out with their own hardware that is backwards compatible to my entire digital library. That is, in my opinion, that is the next gen hardware from Xbox that I will 100% get, because that is something I want. The console itself, we'll see, because I have options that I don't necessarily need to get the console for next gen. So let's see what they do for that to make me want to get the console that sits under my TV. But then handheld, in my opinion, that'll be the thing that I would want to get. And obviously all these great games that are coming out.
Yeah, so listen, let me just add some context to that, because I'm the perfect case study for the next gen console, right? The question that's being asked, and you asked a great one: why should I buy the next piece of hardware? And here's why. And again, this is case study Boom 101, right? I have the funds to buy a PC, a laptop, or a rig at any time I want. And anytime I want, I can say that one that's $3,700 that comes with the 50 whatever, I can go. I don't want that life. PC has never been for me. But this is where it gets very interesting. If this rumored open source box, which Phil Spencer himself said that we need to make this console different than the consoles before it to attract people to buy it. It can't be an Xbox Series, whatever, that's the same thing. That didn't work for them. This is why I'm dead set on the PlayStation 6 being a very powerful piece of hardware, but it's going to be a PlayStation 5. with all the bells and whistles. They're not going to change. This is where Xbox comes in and changes the game once again. So for me, I'm a Steam user once a year, right? They'll have a demo like the G.I. Joe Wrath of Cobra that came out there first. The side-scrolling beating up that no one gives a shit about, but I care. I care about it because I like G.I. Joe and I like side-scrollers, right? So I downloaded it and I played it because it wasn't available on my console. This is where it gets very interesting, Paris and C. Again, I'm not a Steam customer, but if that box gives me the ability to buy a game that's only available on Steam, like let's say a roguelite that's like Vampire Survivors, it's just on PC and not everywhere else. I then go to the store, I buy this game, I play it on this open source Xbox. What does that make me? I am now a Steam customer. They're getting money from someone that they would normally never get a red cent from. And this is the importance of this next Xbox. I mean, that's just my thoughts on
Agreed.
it.
I mean, I'm in the same boat with the when it comes to PC and hand. Like I have the 4090. I'm trying to get the 5090, but it's melting things. So waiting for that to get fixed and hopefully I can get one. But I mean, the PC experience, I've always like dreamt of this world where I could just turn my PC into like a de facto console. You know what I'm saying? It's just like my PC console where it just loads right into gaming. I know Steam big picture mode, you can do that, but I'm an Xbox dude, not a Steam dude. So I mean, I have so many Steam games, but not the ones that I want, right? Xbox Game Pass is here, and that's where I want it. So I want them to make that handheld and that PC layer, and I think that's the goal, right? I think the same thing they're going to do on the handheld. They should have like this mode that you could do on the PC or this layer you could play on top of it. But that's really that's the thing. If they can, you nailed it, Paris, with the idea of using this one as the buffer.
Yes.
Right. Use this console, this handheld as your practice. Let's get this right, and then let's make the official Xbox branded one.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you got to get the UI and the software right first before you then go, hey, here. And not to mention, I think again, 2027 seems like a long ways away, but you're also got to think about this. They're probably looking at future tech on the handheld level, on the mobile level, as far as performance goes, battery goes, screen and obviously price is going to be a factor because I'm convinced this thing ain't going to be cheap.
No,
especially if it was to come out now, it would not be cheap. I also think you're probably going to see in the next couple of years Valve have a Steam Deck 2 come out as hardware tech advances and all of that. So they're probably going to be competitive on that level too. Like, trust me, I want the handheld. I wish it would come today, but you don't have to get this partnered Asus one because I guess the reality is if you already have a Rogue Ally, you have the Legion Go or whatever this Xbox UI is going to be, whatever the improvements are going to happen, they're going to be on that hardware too.
Yes.
So if you already have one, you're not going to necessarily need to run out and go buy it. Of course, I'm curious to see what it's going to look like. I'm sure it's going to be very
not going to look like the Xbox One though.
Right.
That's what I want.
But your games would be playable on it. And, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, listen, again, first of all, Paris, thanks so much for popping in here, dude. Super appreciate it.
I'm always lurking, man. I'm always lurking. So
and I'll say this, Paris. I'll say this. I'm very lucky because yesterday we had Destin Legary jump on the show. Today we got Paris Lilly jumping on the show. This has been one hell of a week for a podcaster that still hasn't hit 16,000 subscribers. So I am incredibly honored and grateful for it because, again, like I said, we got a chance to meet for the first time last June. I'm going to be out in LA during the summer events. I'm sure you and Danny and the missus are going to be there as well, along with Destin. Destin's already been confirmed to be there. So I'm looking forward to catching up. And again, the Future Game Show later this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. People Can Fly. They've already put it out there. They're going to show something off. What that is, we don't know. And of course, getting back, to the topic that we're talking about, Xbox Play Anywhere is another industry-changing, future-proof move that Xbox is in line to do first. And there's a lot to get excited about, especially when you consider how expensive things are. Every cent that you spend on gaming, it should benefit you as the consumer. It shouldn't take away. But Paris, brother, before we get on out of here, Tell everyone whether not only where they can follow you and potentially clip you, because we're always getting clipped, but talk about your YouTube channel, because we know that you're on Kind of Funny. We know that you've been working for years with Danny Pena, and you do a great job on Gamertag Radio. But you started your YouTube channel, which, by the way, has exploded on the scene. Talk about it. Where can people subscribe, man?
So a couple of things I want to say, but I'll talk about that first, but I want to end on one thing. So yeah, number one, I'm lazy as far as the YouTube channel goes, but yeah, I do my YouTube channel, but it's just something fun to do. It's like where I just want to express my own opinions. I'll live stream every now and again. Like I put up, NVIDIA, they gave me early access to the Half-Life 2 RTX demo. So I put out a video on that.
Nice.
I'll do, little stuff like that when I have time. Like you said, I'm on Kind of Funny. I'm on Gamertag Radio as well. But I mean, as my schedule frees up here the rest of the year, because, my day job takes up a lot of my time here early in the year with audits and compliance stuff. But once I'm done with that, probably after Summer Game Fest, I'll definitely do more stuff on my YouTube channel. But that brings me to the point that I wanted to make. Like you mentioned, we've met face to face, and you're at Summer Game Fest last year, and it was a pleasure being able to see you and hang out, and like other people, like the Iron Lords were there, and all these other people, that I get to interact with online. We get to meet face to face, and that's the point I want to make as I leave here and you end the show. And C Money, we have not met yet, and I look forward to the day that we meet. Because look, we can argue, we can shit talk online all we want, do the memes and all this other crazy stuff, but the energy is always different when you're in person, because there's no drama, no one's arguing, no one's doing none of this silly shit that you see online. Everyone is there to have fun, to have a good time, to socialize and all that. And those are the moments that I cherish. Like I even saw in your chat, somebody was shit talking me earlier. Bro, I don't care about you. I legitimately don't, because we both know you don't talk like that to anybody in person.
They would never.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing about the online. It gives you a lot of liquid courage to say crazy stuff online. So I have a reputation now that I'm a bully and I confront people and all this kind of stuff. But the truth of the matter is, you don't get to talk to people in any kind of way that you want and think someone's not going to push back. And the point I'm making is, when we're in person, none of this stuff happens. So it'll be great to see you again at Summer Game Fest. I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely be there. And let's have fun, man. It's supposed to be gaming. It's not supposed to be about all this stupid internet drama.
Absolutely, brother. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us, Paris. Enjoy the rest of your day.
We'll
be hanging out soon enough.
Easy, brother.
Looking forward to what you guys are going to continue to do on Kind of Funny, as well as Gamertag Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, please follow Paris Lilly for all the greatest and latest news. He works his ass off, and he joined us today for about 20 minutes, which is maybe even a little bit more than that. So thank you, Paris. Appreciate you being here. C Money, let's sell your brand, kind sir, On Point for Gamers. You do a lot of work during the week. I believe it's up to 4 shows. Sometimes it's even a 5th one when you have the time. Talk about it. Where can they check out you? And of course, the missus, which is Doodle. If you didn't know who she was, you should follow her as well. Talk about On Point for Gamers, where they can subscribe, and more importantly, where can people follow you on social media?
Awesome, man. Well, first of all, thank you, brother. Love doing the show. Shout out to Paris coming to stop by. That was dope to come rock out for a little bit. Yeah, man. Boom. Appreciate you, man. I love doing the show. So glad to be here. Remember, Thursdays, 12 p.m. We're here, baby. So come check us out. Before I go into the other thing, I do just want to make one comment about Play Anywhere, because I wanted to say it and I just kind of I forgot. The one thing I will say is that I am seeing a lot of this people coming at, like, this is like, I forget what it was in the past, but like people coming at Microsoft about games that are not Xbox Play Anywhere, that are not owned by Microsoft. What I suggest is that if you actually want to see some of these games that are not Xbox Play Anywhere, Xbox Play Anywhere, go talk to the people who develop those games. You know what I'm saying? Go put your energy over there. Go say, hey, you company, your game should be Xbox Play Anywhere. All right? Xbox can't put a gun to these people's head and force them to do things. Okay? That being said, yes, C Money Forever right here on Twitter. My Doodle is my wife. She's Doodle to be free. So definitely go ahead and check her out on Twitter. We are On Point for Gamers. So I don't know. I'm gonna put it in the
drop it in the chat for sure.
Yeah,
there we go.
Put it in
Excellent.
the chat. So that's there. Yeah, like Boom said, we do like 4 shows a week. We have some member only shows that we do on Saturdays. But it's an Xbox focus channel. We talk about everything, but from the view of a hardcore Xbox fan. So we have some fun for sure. Sometimes things get slanderous, but it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun.
It's all fun and games so someone loses an eye, as they say.
Exactly, and we don't lose eyes. You know what I'm saying? Just to have some clarity. But yes, we do 4 shows a week. It's Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern. It's Morning Quest with Doodle See Money. Then we have Tuesday nights is Night Quest at 8 p.m. Eastern, and that's with myself, Doodle, and Pharaoh Bizarre. We sometimes have Fuzzy on there, depends on his schedule. Fuzzy Belvedere. And then so that's Tuesday night. Thursday nights at 8 p.m. we have the On Point Gaming Podcast with myself and Doodle, which is more like generally news, like has more different topics and stuff. And then on Friday nights is Night Shift. That's our end of the week show. We have a good time with the homie Demo Flow Gaming and our brother Hargeet Shani. It's just a fun time, man. Shout out to everybody who's here, that I see you guys all the time, in our chat. So appreciate y'all. But if you don't, if you haven't been around, definitely come rock out, man. Take a look and come hang out with us. It's a good time, It's a good time.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Once again, thanks, Paris Lily, for popping in. We got 2 additional super chats, and we'll get everyone out of here. We have our good friend, generous friend of the program, Mac, who drops a very generous $5 super chat. And he says, like I told you last year, dude, on your 54th birthday, I have 3 years on you, kid. Hashtag graybeards. But Mac, thank you so much for being here, brother. And listen, again, I always say this, that I cherish being older, because it's another year that we went around the planet and you're still here. I think a lot of people don't take that for granted, that that you're still around. And this world is completely effed up, and anything can happen at any time. But thanks so much, Mac, for the generosity. We also have our very generous friend Highlander 001, who took the time from driving around his neighborhood with his tank. He drops a very generous $2 super chat. Highlander goes on to say, Paris just hit the nail on the head. Indeed. Great points from both Paris and C Money. I mean, listen, folks, this was a great show. And I'm always excited when it kind of goes off the rails a little bit and we start talking about important things. And I thought today's show was dynamite. Again, we are waiting before I write before I start writing the show for tomorrow. I usually do that in the midnight hours. I write the show. I'm holding off on posting anything additional until we get some GDC news, which is expected to be pretty decent today, along with what's happening with People Can Fly. Are they going to show Gears of War E-Day? Are they going to show Project Maverick? Are they going to show the Marcus Phoenix collection that's rumored to be real?
We'll see.
Who the heck knows?
We'll talk about it tonight.
Well, that's right. Yeah, C-Money will be talking about it tonight, because they're going to have a show literally right after that. But again, a big thank you to all of the super chats. A big thank you to nearly 600 people that tuned in for this show. C and I incredibly appreciate it. Of course, we are 229 subscribers away from 16K, folks. If you enjoyed the context, please consider subscribing to the channel. I know a lot of people aren't getting notified because YouTube they're just YouTube. That's what they do. But please consider subscribing. Hit the like button before you get on out of here. And if you're feeling super extra generous and you want to share this out on the socials and say, hey, that's C-Money and Boom, they're not boobs. They're actually really good dudes. And Paris Lily, awesome. We had a good conversation. I'd greatly appreciate it. But of course,
yeah, man,
I'm going to close out the show with something that's incredibly important to me. Hopefully one day it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And he would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice, to live by those rules, son, I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of X Vlog Live.